Hello and welcome back to Super Smash or Pass. Today, we're talking about Mach Rider. So, Mach Rider was a game released for the Nintendo Entertainment System back in 1985 and has really not gotten an update or a sequel or anything since. The original Mach Rider before the NES version was a toy that Nintendo put out, I think, back in the 1970s, but the series died. The series is not around anymore. It kind of transitioned into F-Zero, so it's kind of seen as the precursor to F-Zero, but even that, I think, is a debatable point on whether or not it actually is a precursor to F-Zero, but if you want to look at it that way, it could be the pre-F-Zero, but if you don't, it's just a single one-off NES game. So, as far as moveset goes, Mach Rider obviously doesn't have much to pull from. The reason being is that Mach Rider is a character that is usually on a bike. For their entire game, except for the ending, Mach Rider is on a bike. And Mach Rider is not shown doing anything except when they are on that bike. So much like early Smash 64 characters like Captain Falcon or Fox, Mach Rider really doesn't have a defined moveset, and I guess you could even say that with modern day characters like Rob or Duck Hunt is another perfect example. But like those characters, what Mach Rider does have is a team that is very talented behind this game who can probably make something up for it. And there's really two ways I think you can do Mach Rider as in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The first would be to use the bike, right? Because the bike has guns, the bike has a lot of stuff that you could do that would be very different than anything else in the roster. But I also think having Mach Rider on the bike could be very, very difficult to implement. We know that's probably why Excite Biker was left out of Smash Bros. Melee, and I highly doubt that they would continue to do that. And it's probably the reason why Excite Biker won't be a character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The other thing you could do is to take Mach Rider off the bike. And taking Mach Rider off the bike gives you a lot more you could play with, because Mach Rider at the very end of the game, the victory screen, which is going to be right over here, he is depicted with a gun. So you could make a moveset based around that. There's also this character here, this woman who shows up, and it's a debatable point whether or not that is actually Mach Rider. I don't know if they were going for a Metroid style thing where at the end it's revealed Mach Rider's a girl, or if it was supposed to be something completely unrelated and it just was translated incorrectly, and if that'll become part of Mach Rider's lore, we'll have to wait and see if this character ever comes back. But if you wanted to use that woman as Mach Rider and have her be implemented as well, she uses two knives. So there you go. You could also give Mach Rider two knives. And I don't think there's anyone who uses knives in Smash Bros., which I know is a little bit more gruesome, I guess, than a sword. Kind of, not really. But a rifle and dual-wielding knives could actually make Mach Rider very interesting for both, far-away combat with like a rifle, and then with the knives, very close-range combat. So there could be a lot of fun that you could do there. And then there's also the fact that Mach Rider would probably be a semi-clone at the very least of Captain Falcon. I imagine a situation kind of like Isabelle to the Villager. And originally I thought they would be an Ekko Fighter, right? I was like, well, that's a pretty obvious choice. But, and I'm going to put the comment up here. This person kind of talked to me about that and was like, hey, that's probably not going to happen, because the whole reason we probably won't see Ekko Fighters for different series is because these characters can be clumped together into one slot, and that would probably confuse the heck out of people who haven't played those games. So it's probably another reason why we won't see like an Ekko Fighter Blaziken of Captain Falcon, because then Blaziken would be in an F-Zero slot, and it would just get confusing and weird. So that's a very good point on that commenter's part. And also, lastly, you could do things like they've done before for characters like Duck Hunt. They even kind of did it with Villager, where you could pull from other games. You can give Mach Rider moves that maybe stuff from like Urban Champion or Hogan's Alley or something, I don't know, other similar kinds of, I know Urban Champion, Hogan's Alley aren't similar, but stuff from other games from the NES era or just other Nintendo racing games, maybe some stuff from Excite Bike or something, I don't know. So you could always pull from that as well. For Ekko Fighters, I don't think there's really anything you could give Mach Rider. If you wanted to make this woman here an Ekko of Mach Rider, you could but why would you want to? I don't know. You could also probably not do any assist trophies because, I mean, there's the enemies from Mach Riders. You could do, what are the quad drivers, I think they're called. You could do that, but I don't really think that there's a need for any of this stuff, and I don't really think Mach Rider needs an assist trophy. I mean, I would rather them just pull a random NES character to be an assist, maybe like the Excite Biker, or where I think already is one, or the Balloon Fighter. Make the Balloon Fighter an assist trophy. That'd be cool. So we move over to relevancy, and Mach Rider doesn't have relevancy. This is not the thing we need to talk about because his character is not relevant in any way, shape, or form. But unlike every other, I've made a couple exceptions, but unlike most of the characters we talked about, Mach Rider doesn't need relevancy because Mach Rider would be the retro representative. So the series could be dead. Maybe Sakurai will revive it if he puts him in the game like he did with Pit. But if not, Duck Hunt's in the game, Rob is in the game, Game & Watch is in the game. So for these retro characters, I really don't think relevancy matters. It's more just about updating a character. Because, like, hey, this would be cool. And then maybe someone will do something with it, and maybe they won't. Well, only time will tell. So, like we said, Mach Rider is not relevant. Mach Rider is not a character people want. I mean, yes, there are some people who would like to see Mach Rider in the game, but it's not a huge fan-requested character. So why would they put Mach Rider in the game? Well, we always get a retro character, or a WTF character, whatever you want to label it. And I know it's kind of weird to be like, well, we always get this, so we have to be getting it. I understand that, but there are certain patterns we see in Super Smash Bros. That we can expect to be, reiterated. The retro representative is one of them. And if you look at Nintendo's NES library right now, the number of characters is getting smaller and smaller from who you can really choose from. Because right now, I think we arguably have like 4, maybe 5 characters Nintendo published, right? We're not talking about Frogger and stuff like that here. And that's really Excite Biker, Mach Rider, Balloon Fighter, Bubbles from Clu Clu Land, and the Mike Jones from Star Tropics. Those are the only characters I really think you could incorporate into Smash Brothers right now. Like, stuff like Discoon, or, N the Game Master? Is that who he is? I think that's what he is. Stuff like that. It's not going to be Nestor. These characters aren't going to make it into Super Smash. I honestly, if Discoon made it into Super Smash Brothers, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I'll dye my hair. I won't do that, but I'll say it. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't think that any of these characters have really a good chance. Balloon Fighter, Mike Jones, and Excite Biker have just as good a chance as Mach Rider, in my opinion. But I think we all know why I singled out Mach Rider in this video. I think all of us know. And if you don't know, go watch last Thursday's video, or wait till Thursday because there'll be another video on it. But I'm not going to mention it specifically why in this video. And to go into that more about those characters, Excite Biker probably won't be chosen because of the bike, right? That's probably too complicated to make it into a realistic moveset for this game. Balloon Fighter probably won't be chosen because his entire gimmick is already rolled up into Villager. And Balloon Fighter would kind of have to be a character that's always in the air. So that would be interesting, sure, but probably very difficult to do. Mike Jones is a fair candidate. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if Mike Jones has the staying power and the cool design that someone like Mach Rider has, but Mike Jones could make a comeback in this, I think, at some point. But Mach Rider kind of has the cool design, the interesting thing going for it, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think in my Who Be the Retro Rep, I actually think I named Excite Biker the number 1, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can go watch that video too, cheap plug to myself. But yeah, I think it would make sense. Any of these 4 characters I think would make sense and I'd be completely fine with. But I do think Mach Rider right now is probably the strongest candidate. And that's why we're going to be Mach Rider the verdict of Now, let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think? Is Mach Rider past his prime? This character needs to go to the bench like every other NES character? Or no, is the Grinch confirmed? He's happening, no question about it. Let me know. And talking about it a little bit more, I wanted to make a little, not addendum, but a little additional thing here that I usually wouldn't do, because on Thursday, I will be making another update to the Grinch leak, banner leak video. I did last Wednesday. And the reason is because the Wednesday video was very rushed. It was very kind of like a snap last minute thing that I decided I should put together because I had just seen a bunch of stuff about the banner leak and I was like, I need to get my reactions out quickly. So that video didn't really have the polish that I really wanted, and you know, the stuff I kind of pride myself on putting, the quality that I have for my videos. So because of that, I want to not remake, but do one that is more comprehensive, talks more about the evidence we've seen, the new stuff that has arisen since Wednesday, and it's just a more put together, higher quality, probably longer, but with the visuals and the graphics and everything that you've come to expect from me from my videos. So that'll be out on Thursday, and I want you guys to leave comments letting me know, what do you want me to tackle? Do you want me to talk about the picture thing with Little Mac? Do you want me to talk about the sprout? I mean, I'm going to, but you know, those kinds of things. What of the evidence have you seen that you want me to talk about and give more information on in that video? Let me know, and I'll incorporate it into my script. I do have a 3-page long script already for the video, but I'm super open to including any points you guys want me to cover in that video. So please let me know in the comments, and that would be very helpful. So guys, that's it for today's video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow because, of course, tomorrow is Halloween, and there will be a Halloween special. There will be another Super Smasher Pass tomorrow, and it's just a little fun little one. It's not going to be that long or anything. But I'll see you guys then, and hopefully also on Thursday. And that's it for today.